we got a new camera. I can see myself in much better quality. I can even see my hair follicles. I can see the shadows of my glasses much better than the last webcam we had.
And you can see all the grey hair that WWE are giving me.
Yeah, indeed. And also notice how we're still mirrored. There we go, Off the Rope Show. Welcome back to another Raw Rundown with us, the British Fist. With me, Mr. Parkin, sporting a lovely America t-shirt. Backward t-shirt, indeed. And this guy sitting here, it's none other than your What's Up merchant, NJ.
People, please record yourself doing the... What's up?
The What's Up pumping, as he likes to call that action. Also, we're joined by a special third member on this week's edition of the Raw Rundown. It's none other than Mr. Parkin's mustache.
I didn't even know you had one.
How could you not know? It's right there. Can you not see it? The reason why we got the new webcam was so that we could make this stand out a little bit more.
Not working.
It works for Cody Rhodes. Why can't it work for me? For God's sake. Anyway, let's get on to this Raw Rundown. Oh, God, Jesus Christ. It was the Elimination Chamber Go-Home show. Put your thoughts on this show down in the comment section below. Make sure you subscribe, like, and all that kind of bollocks.
And people, all I'm saying is, finally, The Rock has returned!
But yeah, it's not as over as Cody's mustache. And also, we'd like to also send our congratulations, big congratulations, to our fellow YWC member, James Morehouse, a.k.a. the Black Rose 1991, who just gave birth to a lovely baby girl called Caitlin.
He didn't, but yes.
Well, you know, his girlfriend did. You know what I mean.
All I'm saying is congratulations. And people, if you've not subscribed to James Morehouse, yes, he's got kids who probably more paying attention to that. But please, keep supporting him on his YouTube channel too.
And give him some love. Now we're going to be going on to the in-ring action and booking of this week's Go-Home Show edition to the Elimination Chamber of Raw. So to fill the 3 hours, generally WWE tries to give us a lot of matches. This week we had, I believe, 9 matches, the first of which was Mark Henry versus the Great Khali. Henry wins this match and gives Hornswoggle a World's Strongest Slam while he's there, which I guess put a lot of cry faces on kids, but a lot of happy faces on adults.
It was a tough challenge for Mark Henry, and with Hornswoggle there, it was like a handicap match, but Mark Henry showed that he's back where he belongs.
Back where he belongs indeed, and that's what he does! Yeah, he World's Strongest Slams midgets. Daniel Bryan versus Chris Jericho, a match which the RWC probably jizzed over when it was announced.
All I'm going to say is that, yes, we didn't watch the broadcast live, we didn't watch the video live, we didn't watch Raw live, but the amount of compliments this match got was really, really good. I compliment this, and to be honest, this was probably, or was, the best match of Raw.
Indeed, and I didn't watch it because I want to watch it on pay-per-view. That's all I will say. Jericho gets the win to get his place in the chamber. More about that in the next section. The Breakfast Club versus 3MB. Guess who won this one? Generally, there's only one winner in that faction. It's a boy band.
One-man band!
They're actually a 3-man band, NJ.
3-man band!
John Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus. Could you imagine them in a boy band? The Breakfast Club band. Oh, can you imagine the kind of songs they would release? Jack Swagger versus Zack Ryder. Swagger wins to get a place in the chamber. Really didn't expect Zack Ryder to win this one.
When we do our chamber predictions, I want to go into more detail about this because with Swagger, I'm two-sided.
So am I. More about Swagger in the storyline section, though. Miz versus Cody Rhodes with Cesaro on commentary. A match which I would like to see down the road at some point. Didn't really go very long. Miz won by DQ.
This comes to the point where I was saying Miz is a face. He has great opponents that he could go against. This is one of them. With Cody Rhodes' booking, I really didn't believe that this match was going to be anything to make Cody Rhodes look good. It was more, in my opinion, about the Miz and Cesaro feud as we saw.
Do you really think that they're going to sacrifice Cody Rhodes' singles push to maybe push his mustache? Any thoughts on that? No? Okay, we'll move on. Brodus Clay and Tensai versus Epico and Primo. All I can say about this one is Gangnam Style, even though now it's Harlem Shuffle, so they should really get with the times, WWE.
This match, again, with Epico and Primo not really being showcased that much, and when they do, they have to go against these two. I'm hoping the WWE actually do use like Epico and Primo, the Usos and stuff like that, instead of using these tag teams that are really going to fail.
Brodus Clay and Tensai, the Dancing Big Men. How can that not fail? Del Rio versus Sandow. Sandow got a nice promo, but unfortunately he lost very quickly. Let's face it, when you're a Latino world champion that Vince McMahon really wants to push, you're going to beat pretty much anyone clean. Shame that you had to beat Sandow clean in such a quick time.
Yeah, so when it comes to Sandow and Cody, they both come into this, even as single wrestlers, and still lose. Yes, you're putting Sandow against a main eventer in this case, but it's still a shame that your people who've gone separate ways, hopefully to build up to something. If you've got nothing planned for them yet, why did you break them up?
Yeah, and that's something we will touch more on in the next section as well. Barrett versus Kofi Kingston. Wade Barrett just got jackknifed backstage by Bo Dallas, and he's out there fighting Kofi Kingston, wins there using the apron. It was pretty clever way to finish the match, wasn't it?
The thing is, Barrett, especially with his bad booking, he does need wins here and there. So beating Kofi, especially when he's facing a mid-card, because he's a mid-card champion, I think it definitely starts to tease something that's going to happen either at Chamber as a filler match or going on to Mania.
We said this in the Friday video, Kofi Kingston is now just on a jobbing streak. But he should be jobbing to Barrett, I will say that. Kane versus Dolph Ziggler. This was to get into the Chamber. Kane wins after AJ accidentally distracts Dolph Ziggler. Big E Langston, though, what a catch. That's all I can say. What a catch.
Because the thing also about this is that Kane in the Chamber, you expect it. Ziggler at first didn't want to be in a Chamber match, and here he is going into one. Yes, it was because of AJ, so hopefully that's not going to tease another breakup, because I think AJ is a better manager for Ziggler than Vicky was, but again, Kane's in it, so I'm happy.
Kane and Daniel Bryan are both in it, which should forward something. More about that later. But have you also noticed that this camera's a bit further back, so the YouTubers get to see more of our bodies? Do you think we should flex a little bit, maybe? Or, I don't know, just do something. Either way, let's just, for the female viewers that love this, pause it. For male viewers, just continue. We'll be going on to character enhancement and storyline enhancement next. So with this being the go-home show to Elimination Chamber, not to mention the fact they only had 3 weeks to build it up, we expected quite a lot of character enhancement and storyline enhancement on this show, simply because before this show there was, 4 matches announced for the Chamber, which really wasn't enough. We'll start with a couple of small things before we go on to the main feuds. Brodus and Tensai are now a dancing tag team. I know you don't like this, but I just say, why the fuck not?
They are not, I repeat, they are not going to be anything as close to Too Cool.
No way, because they don't have the 2 small guys there, to one of them to do the worm, and the other one to be bigged up by Jerry Lawler. Since breaking up, Rhodes and Sandow are just forwarding on other storylines and jobbing. Kind of really, you wonder why they broke up in the first place, when they could have had more direction as a tag team.
Because every match they had, especially when they were in a tag team, they lost. They never won the gold, which was expected of them. So to be honest, breaking them up, yes, we remain friends, we want to do our own thing, but really, that's probably not going to start until after possibly Chamber going into Mania.
Indeed. Bo Dallas also attacked Wade Barrett backstage, as we mentioned earlier. It seems like they're going to go the distance with this feud, maybe WrestleMania.
I do think, unless it's going to be a quick filler drop-in match at the Chamber, if not, then yes, it'll be at Mania. Just depending on what they can do to keep this feud going until Mania.
They can't just do like little backstage. They have to do a little bit more. Bo Dallas talk a little bit more. Right? He did look comfortable on the mic last week, but we'll see how he does in the future. Swagger now has a mouthpiece, a guy called Zeb Cutler, who's a real American and doesn't like people passing the borders.
I will say this, again, because of Twitter and following the Raw, many people knew who this guy was.
Yeah, it's Dutch Mantel, wasn't it?
The past, yeah, so he's done a lot in the past. With me, I think with Swagger going to the country saying, "Do I impress you now? Do I impress you now?" Does he need a mouthpiece? Oh, hell yes.
He does definitely need a mouthpiece. But it is good that they're at least giving him some kind of mouthpiece. And this whole American thing, we'll see where this goes. But right now, it's at least something relevant for Jack Swagger, I'll say that. Apparently, Tamina laid Caitlyn out in a backstage segment, and now this match is set for the pay-per-view? Yeah, Miz and Cesaro, they did more on this week. Surely now this match will be on pay-per-view, especially after they featured it like they have done, especially after Cesaro swung Miz into the barricade after the match, which was really impressive.
The continuous feud, I do like this, because Cesaro's had probably 2 match feuds, so the continuous one, I like it. But get ready, guys, we've got a pre-show match here.
I hope this isn't a pre-show match. This belongs on the pay-per-view, right?
This time round, yes.
Indeed. Del Rio and Big Show, there was a little bit, not too much of this week, but apparently on SmackDown, Big Show got covered in paint. And tonight, he was just pissed. He was knocking everyone out. He was knocking Alex Riley out. He was knocking Yoshitatsu out. He was knocking the microphone out. He was knocking all the crowd out with the lack of talking that he was doing. He was knocking, Matt Striker out in the ring. He was just doing all sorts of knocking out tonight, wasn't he?
Anything to make them look ready, because obviously we all know that Big Show's the big dominant guy who got outsmarted by Del Rio last week. But again, am I interested in this feud? Not ever so much. But the matches like between, like, let's say for example, Big Show and Del Rio have had their spots, but I'm not overly jumping for joy for this feud continuing.
I must admit, I am a little bit more behind Del Rio as a face than I was before. I'm kind of looking forward to this match simply because I hope this will just have a better finish than the one at Royal Rumble and finish this feud off going into WrestleMania. We got some build for the SmackDown Elimination Chamber. They only had 3 people announced because apparently Ray was taken out on SmackDown. They announced it was going to be only for former world champions or something. So they needed to get 3 people in that chamber. And they had Jericho win the match against Bryan, Swagger against Zack Ryder, and they had Kane win against Ziggler. So they're all in the chamber. Now, interesting as that is, Ziggler isn't in the chamber. So do you think this could be a good opportunity for them maybe to have Ziggler cash it in, possibly?
I think to be the first person to go on to Mania to do it would be a bigger thing for Ziggler. But like I predicted a while back, the chamber, because of what goes on in the chamber, it could be a good time. It just depends, but I think we've got a good roundup roster going into the chamber, so might look forward.
The chamber match is looking pretty good. Orton, Henry, Swagger, Daniel Bryan, Jericho, and Kane. You can see Daniel Bryan and Kane getting teased there. It looks like a pretty decent lineup compared to what we kind of got last time when Carly was in there and people like that. So I'm kind of looking forward to this chamber. It should at least be a chamber match, even though it's the only chamber match on the pay-per-view right now. And they took until the go-home show to announce all the members of it, which was a bit ugh.
Took them a while, but I guess the WWE probably had their plan, hence why Ray was in there to begin with, and then it failed.
Breakfast Club versus The Shield. This is going to be a 6-man tag at the pay-per-view. They addressed this in a segment on the show. They had The Shield addressing the WWE Universe. Why they would do this, I don't know, when they're not supposed to be contracted to WWE or anything. And they're basically saying, if you want us, come and get us. And it's nice and refreshing to see heels that aren't scared to call people out and aren't fucking chicken shit.
The thing is, there was a big rumour going around that this was possibly a chamber match, but I'm glad it was kept as a 3-on-3 kind of thing, because I think they can actually do more and have more involvement, more Shield-like attacks. And having the Shield look strong, dominant against main eventers, it's going to definitely give them the rub they deserve going into the match and hopefully coming out.
I just find it funny that Dean Ambrose was calling out the John Cena problem of the last decade and the going against the system, which is the kind of stuff that YWC Smarks generally like CM Punk did when he was the voice of the voiceless. So turns out the Shield are Smarks, guys. And then we have the lights go out. Sheamus, Cena, and Ryback brawl with the Shield into the crowd, which I thought was pretty good. The babyfaces came on top on this one. I expect them to win at the pay-per-view as well, and I think they should.
I'd really like to see the Shield continue with their dominance. I really think a win over 3 main eventers would be a good spot. So I'm just looking forward to this match, but it just depends on how they finish it, which is going to be the key.
Indeed, and I think this is the perfect time, because let's face it, Sheamus hasn't really had a big win lately. Ryback has really not had a big win lately at pay-per-view. Cena had the Rumble. But he's going to definitely go to WrestleMania. So this is, I think, the time where you give Ryback or Sheamus a win. More Ryback, in my opinion. I think that they have to do that.
Well, I'm more of the Shield winning, or at least the Shield going crazy and just attacking with weapons. I'm expecting just something more leaning towards the Shield, especially when they're going against main eventers.
Indeed. Punk versus Rock. This is the big feud going into Elimination Chamber. So Rock was there this week. So the big deal was that, we got the announcement of the fact that if Rock gets carried out or DQ'd, he will lose the title. And they had the whole response to that in the main event. But I just want to touch on the opener first. The opener, I didn't really watch the opener or pay much attention, but it seemed like Paul Heyman was a little sob story, as you said earlier. And you had Punk come out and come to his aid, because NJ, I just want to say this. I'm an NJ guy. I really am. And I think there are a lot of NJ guys out there as well. So if you're an NJ guy, let him know down in the comment section, please.
Please do, because this opener, I really thought this is not the Heyman I was expecting to see. A great mic talker, a really strong heel manager, and he comes out by saying, I don't want to get in Punk's way, I'm leaving, I'm finished, blah, blah, blah. I thought, this is not what I want to hear from you. Yes, some people say it was funny, that it was funny, but I really didn't like this. Punk coming out and saying, I care for you, I need you. What a stupid opener.
Don't worry, NJ. Paul Heyman will be back. He will be back soon, I promise. And then we got CM Punk coming out, obviously to console Heyman, like I just did there with NJ. And then we get the main event segment of the night with the Rock speaking about his stipulation. Now, in my opinion, when the Rock comes to Raw, you expect him to deliver. Now, his little promo about crackheads and cars and all that kind of stuff, I just didn't find very good. I expected a little bit more from Rock personally, but I don't know if that's me being overly critical, but when you see a guy like Rock, you expect big things from him, and I just saw a below average promo.
Okay,
personally.
people, this is going to be a rare thing for me, but the build-up for John Cena and The Rock, you saw The Rock gradually coming back, being The Rock himself with all his promos. You saw Cena trying to insult The Rock. And this, I don't feel The Rock's being the way he was as he was building up to the John Cena feud. Both CM Punk's promos in the past have been repetitive, building up to this match. Rock's promos, yes, they've been entertaining in some way, but they've not been as good as the ones building up to John Cena, so I'm quite disappointed in that.
We'll say this though, after the Rock cut his promo, CM Punk come out, it was really nice to see that Punk wasn't chicken shit and he actually went in after the Rock, and for the first time ever, you had Paul Heyman helping out Punk to get one over on the Rock, so I felt that there was pretty good booking. I can't help but feel, though, that the reason they put this stipulation in is because they're going to do another screwy finish at the pay-per-view. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I'm going to say the way they did it, yes, at first they showed CM Punk not wanting to enter the ring. He enters, pulls Rock's leg after the people's elbow and stuff. So the way they set it up, the Punk getting one over the Rock ready for the pay-per-view, I really believe the Rock's going to probably win clean for two reasons. Number one, to end this feud thing going on, unless they are going to have a triple threat Mania, and also because CM Punk's meant to be injured.
He did get injured by Miz, apparently. He got dropped on his head. But he seemed okay. He didn't wrestle or anything, but he seemed fine. I just think that finish it's just come out of nowhere. I mean, it just came out of nowhere. If The Rock gets DQ'd or counted out, he's going to lose the belt. I just think this is going to be a silly way of giving Punk back the title, maybe, while not having Rock to do a job. Maybe it's leading to a triple threat match at Mania. Who really knows? It all depends on Undertaker, who was rumored to be in Nashville tonight, but apparently he wasn't there. He wasn't on the show, so not expecting Undertaker yet. I wouldn't expect an Undertaker yet anyway. No, but there we go. Those are our thoughts on Raw. Now we're going to go to the overall thoughts. So give us any thoughts you have on Raw down in the comment section below. And also, make sure you give your love to James Morehouse on his new baby, Caitlin. And also, give us your compliments on our camera. Do you like it? Let us know, please.
Because with this camera, we're hoping to expand, keep growing and stuff. And we're not going to unmirror our videos. So from Mr. Parkin and me, NJ, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. And until next time, YouTubers, thank you very much. Keep smiling and goodbye.